every kid in this community has got to have the opportunity for success. And if we rob them of that because the right people are not in their lives, our community will be so adversely affected. It's extremely hard to lead a school where everyone's in need. It's so daunting, the problems that you're working through on behalf of families that have nothing to do with education, just to get their child in the seat every day to be educated. And so to know that you have someone you can rely on is very powerful as a school administrator. And in light of the way that kids view it, kids of poverty, kids in general, today are used to people walking away from them. And they learn not to trust people by somebody coming in for a minute and not being there the next. And so the longer the commitment to the child, to the school, to whatever, to the idea, right? The more that you teach children how to trust. Our kids at Plaza Park are at this pivotal tipping point where 63% of our community is living in poverty and no one knows it. So no one reaches out to Plaza Park and says, hey, do you need help? And we need so much help. Right now you have a school that's close to your house and you think you know what it is, and it may not be that. And so re-examining what all of our ideas are about what school is really needs to occur. And the only way that can occur is to work alongside them and ask them what the issues are. And it would really probably surprise you.
There's about 250 churches in Evansville, and there's a little less than 50 schools. So if we could get 20% of the churches in Evansville to pick one school and bless their socks off, imagine the beauty that we could create in our community.
We're tired. We thrive on being that tired. It is so amazing to be exhausted because you helped people all day. I can't describe to you how great I feel when I go to sleep at night, and I might have had the most exhausting day, but that whole day was exhausted making other people's lives better. And having said that, I go to bed every night thinking, there were 11 things I should have done today I did not do. And also just knowing there's a child in my community right now that is on my heart because that child does not have the right people around them to be their champion. And I cannot champion every child. There's one of me and 700 of them, and I have to figure out how to make champions for them. So a great partner is one who reaches out and said, we want to socially mobilize to help you make children's lives great. And whatever the ways are going to, they're going to bubble up from the conversations that you have about the need.
Whatever your church is passionate about in humanity, I promise you can find it in a school. Schools are microcosms of our community, and whatever issue it is that you're fired up about, I can show it to you at Glenwood or at Plaza or at Delaware, where we serve.
When you ask yourselves, what do schools need? There are things as educators we're not allowed to do. When Angie and I were together at Glenwood, we lost a child. That is traumatizing on so many levels, and you can't pray with your staff. But we could call Eric Cummings and ask him to come and pray with our staff, and he did. And it was a changing moment.
It is for the kids, but I will tell you that for our staff and for me personally as the leader of the building, it's just one of the most uplifting things that I can think of.
We've seen a lot of amazing things happen in church partnerships already, and I don't think they've reached their limit of possibility. So I would say this, all it takes is one phone call, and sometimes that phone call doesn't come from the school because we don't know to whom we can reach out. And in my first year at Plaza Park, there had been a lot of loss at Plaza Park of a student life. And one of the things that was said to me was, as a challenge, can you please go in there and try to figure out how to make that stop? Every single partner I reached out to was to help me figure out, how do we make sure no child at Plaza Park ever takes their life again? And so our church is going to be good at that. Yep. It's just that you weren't my first thought, because my first thought was, I don't know how to fix that problem, and people in the mental health community do. But everybody knows how to fix that problem, and that's being kind to each other and taking care of one of each other and teaching each other that we matter. So a church partnership could probably have fixed that problem faster.
So we took a course with the Leadership in Faith Institute, I think is what it's called, at Harvard University about church-school partnerships. And they talked about a 3-tier system that I'm going to try to explain to you now. So tier 1 is when churches come to schools with answers and say things like, you need backpacks. Here's some backpacks. that's fabulous. And as they have made clear to you today, they're happy to take that help. But what I would love to see those conversations revolutionized into what they call a tier 2 relationship, which is when a church comes to a school and says, what do you need? And then just go do whatever they tell you they need. Tier 3 is where I think we are, and I think where you would like to say that you are, which is where you are analyzing the systemic and structural problems that schools are facing and coming up with collaborative solutions alongside the school.
I would add that in my first year at Glenwood, which I felt was really challenging for me professionally, every month we had a meeting at Crossroads with a committee of people, and at the end they would pray for my leadership. I had never in my entire life had anyone pray specifically for me. It was life-changing. And also it was very uplifting, very bolstering to know, gosh, sometimes I'm going home every day wondering if I know how to fix this problem. Do I know how to do this? That was a huge challenge that we took on all those years ago. And to know that there were 15 people in that room that believed in me, that didn't even know me, that was really powerful.